Yeah.
And it's such an important part of the game.
Yeah.
And yet, I don't know if they don't exist or you just don't have room for them on your staffs. But talking to Coach Alt today, they don't have a kicking coach either.
Right.
So you just leave those guys to try to figure it out on their own.
Well, I think this. We do have a kicking coach, and it's Coach Choate. And, you know, it's probably a little bit like a golf professional, you know, analyzing the swing in some ways. But, you know, Coach Choate, over the time he's been here, has done a really good job of educating himself on the fundamentals of kicking. And, you know, he does work with those guys and does work with the fundamentals and all those type of things. And I will say this, you know, Dan Goodell has gotten a lot better in the time that he's been here. I mean, when he first came here, you know, we didn't really think there was much chance at all. And now he's just got to get a couple things tightened up, and I think he can do a good job. But, you know, we'll see. Time will tell.
It'd be nice to get that first field goal opportunity converted, kind of get that monkey off your back, so to speak.
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Is there any internal anxiety building up because of the lack of opportunities?
It depends when that happens. If it's last play of the game and we haven't tried one, probably will be. If not, I'll be excited to see us try a field goal.
Can you talk about moving guys from D line over to offense like Tyrone did it with Winners Like? What kind of that transition is like for them? I mean, is it kind of rocky to start, or what's it like?
It's very rocky. It's very tough to do, and we don't give them a lot. You know, we give them a play, and then we'll build off that. But you know, we like the D-line. I mean, we've had debates, and I think every coach has had this debate that you should almost just recruit all D linemen, and then you draw a line, and those that can't get in the starting rotation, you move them to offense because they just seem to be a little bit more athletic. And we kind of gravitate to those guys, and Tyrone's a very athletic defensive lineman.
That worked for Ryan Clady, right?
What's that?
That worked for Clady, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What does Coach Choate, and what has he done to kind of educate himself on the kicking game? I mean, is there a kicking for dummies coaching manual, or?
He didn't really say that, did he? Okay, next question.
How did Jake Van Ginkel do? I know you said you maybe give him a little bit of a shot. How has he done? And you said he might probably be in the mix again.
Yeah, so we're still competing, and so we'll see how this week goes. And like I said last week, nothing's off the table, and certainly in that situation as well. And so, you know, we hadn't really had Jake in the mix up for a while, but now we kind of got him in the mix, and you know, there's just we'll just see. But he's right there.
Assuming he's done enough to stay in the mix, though.
He's just got, we think, a lot of natural talent that when he kind of gets honed in, that he's going to be, you know, pretty good. You'd like to redshirt all your guys if you can, and this is just one of the positions that we're not sure about.
How did you feel about the progression with Kyle Sosnowski versus Tulsa?
Yeah, Kyle's doing a good job, and we'd like to get him more and more into the mix, and he's got very good hands, and he seems to be a playmaker, and he's kind of one of those hybrid, a little bit undersized, tight end, little oversized receiver, but we can do some different things with him, and he's really a smart player as well.
What do you do in that situation, like you just said, where he's undersized for one, but he's...
Yeah, I think that's perfect for our offense. We always find a role for those type of guys, you know, guys that are smart and tough and can make plays. I mean, we'll put them in positions to make plays.
Back to the kickers for 1 second. Those guys go to a lot of camps and do a lot of individual instruction.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit different. I mean, even if you have a quarterback who maybe went to camps as a kid, when he gets here, he's getting instruction from you and Coach Pease, who was a former quarterback. But those kickers got to go kind of outside sometimes to find it. So
most of those guys do that. They go to these different camps around the country, and I'm not sure if any of these guys have done that, but a lot of them do.
While they're
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about Tevis a little bit? I think 7 interceptions. Seems like he makes the highlight reel interceptions for you guys on defense.
He's a heck of an athlete. He really is. He's a smart player, good athlete, like you said, and you know, he's a guy that, I mean, he definitely has the type of hands. He could be a tight end. He really could. He played that in high school, extremely athletic. But he makes a playmaker. And not only can he sniff things out, I mean, he's got really, really good hands. He's got this awkward way of catching the ball. I mean, he can catch it backwards with one hand, and I mean he can catch it better than some of our receivers doing some of these things, and it shows up in the games.
How has he kind of evolved since he's been here? I know, he came as people called him Gumby. He's a skinny guy. He could move around and stuff. But how have you seen him?
Yeah, he's still lean and those type of things, but he's about 235 pounds or close to 240, and he just got that frame. But the good thing is he can run and he's athletic, and those are the things that we really like about him. But he's, came here as a real skinny guy and has had a good career in the weight room, and really is kind of what you want your backers to look like.
You watch players that play some, and then the next year they play a lot, and you see a tremendous amount of improvement. What have you seen in Gavin's? Because it looks like he's significantly better than last year.
Well, he's been playing well for the first 3 games for sure, and I think he plays one of the hardest positions on the field. So, I think he's played well to this point, and we'll just hopefully continues to play at this level, make plays, progress. But like anybody on our team, and certainly at that position, we don't want to say, hey, he's arrived, he's here. He's got to go prove it every game. And like I said, he's been really good to this point.
All right.
Yeah, we expect that, Paul J. Don't worry.
He seems to have the kind of confidence that you need to be a cornerback. I mean, in the post game yesterday, where he said, I'm 5'8", 160. Why wouldn't they throw at me? But I feel like I'm the best athlete, out there, and no one, I can go get the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
It just seems like he has that confidence, cockiness that you need to be a corner.
Yeah, and he's certainly been playing with a lot of confidence, which is great. And this game is so much about confidence. I think he feels like that a lot too as a kick returner, and we'd like to get him in the mix. He got one on Saturday, but he didn't miss a beat, and he did a great job on that. There wasn't much of a crease. He hit it good, and I think he can do some really good things. And I tell him, hey, that's good, and that's what we're looking for. And he kind of looks at me like, well, of course it's good. I mean, what do you expect? And so he's in a good groove right now. We need him to continue to play like he has been.
Can you tell when guys are playing with confidence and maybe when they're not playing with confidence?
Yeah, I think you can, and I think you can tell when teams, are playing with confidence and not playing with confidence. But it's like I said, you can't give it to them. It doesn't. Pep talks don't work with that. I mean, that wears off in about 5 minutes. I mean, guys got to either live up and go earn it and prove it, or not.
Jarrell said it very carefully, but he almost said when watching film of Brandon last year, he noticed a lot more about what Brandon did wrong, and thought that, I think I could really do that better. Have you noticed him making? Everybody's going to make mistakes. Have you noticed Jarrell making any of the same mistakes that Brandon might have?
Well, not necessarily there, but I think that's what a smart player will do when they're not getting the reps. I mean, they're analyzing the good, the bad, and the ugly, the whole thing, and we really encourage those guys. I mean, hey, you're one play away, even if you're a backup. I mean, you need to be standing there watching every single play and analyzing, the things that don't work as well as in the film room. I mean, if Coach Yates is talking to one guy, he's talking to all you guys, and we don't have enough time to get everybody the reps that they need, not even the starters. You'd wear them out. And so some guys do a better job with that than others, and obviously Jarrell's done a good job of analyzing that situation.
Did BT take a lot of risks when he's kind of out there on an island like that, and does Jarrell play similarly?
Well, I think there's an ebb and flow. I think at certain times, depending on the receiver, you take more risks, and sometimes you don't. And and that, like I said, that's a tough position. I mean, it's very easy to sit back and second guess that. And at times we're saying, hey, you need to play more aggressive on this guy, and then you play more aggressive, and then they run a double move on you, and those type of things. And so you got to be crafty out there and know when to pick and choose your spots, and it's a hard position.
Is Matthews a field? Does he stay on one side of the field?
No, I think they move him around. I can't really remember at this point. We're still in the early stages of analyzing.
The Nevada running game finally cranked into gear down at Texas Tech. What made the difference between that and the first 2 games?
Well, like I said, I think they're starting to work out some of the details and what they're doing, and they got some new guys. But to me, they have couple new wrinkles off it, couple different new formations, but it's still the old pistol run game, which is a power run game, and they do a good job running the ball. There's no question about that. I think it's that thing where we were talking about is I think they're getting, you can see the progression of they're getting better each week.
Did they catch Texas Tech by surprise with a pistol? I mean, because the quarterback averaged 10.5 yards a carry.
No, I mean, I don't think you can, because you got the tape, and they've done that for a long time. Now, sometimes, you know, when you see it for the first time and they're executing it, it's not your scout team, you know, it's tough. But one of the things that they do is they put you in a bind. You know, there's a read on just a lot of that run game. There's just a lot of read components, and so I think that's the thing that makes it pretty good is, you know, it's kind of like a spread offense where they're reading somebody part of the time, but the other part of the time it's not. It's just power football. And so they do a good job of mixing and matching.
With the pistol, like, how difficult is it then when you don't see this type of offense all the time?
Well, yeah, it's a difficult offense without question. And like I say, a little bit different than a traditional spread where they got that back offset, and you know, a lot of times there's 4 receivers and all those type of things. I mean, these guys have tight ends, and they overload you quickly, and they unbalance formation, and then they line up here, and they, you know, at the snap of the ball, the wings coming back the other way. So they just do a good job of all those type of variables, and you know, they do a good job with who has the chalk last. You know, if you line up a certain way and they see that, then they're gonna check it the other way, and you put too many guys in the box, and they're going to get that man coverage, and they're going to throw it. And so it's like any good offense. I mean, you got to believe in your system, and it'll all work if you know the details, and you got answers for when they have answers, and they obviously know this stuff inside and out. I mean, he's the one that came up with it.
But doesn't it go better, obviously, when you got a quarterback who can run like a running back?
I don't know any offense that, and I don't care what it is, if you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going to have a good offense. So,
as the weeks continue to roll by and Geraldo and Ricky are still in street clothes, where's the frustration level for you?
It's same as it was week 1. You know, I mean, we're extremely frustrated, and hopefully we'll get these guys back soon.
Are you close? Do you have any indication?
I don't have any new information.
Do you consider Rich? Well, I guess they probably don't have Rich.
They don't. Okay.